Hey there, friends, family, and loved ones all. It's with another heavy heart I report. Here we go again. 4 or 5 days ago, down in Playa, San Agustin, Ciudad Mendoza, Argentina, right next to some of the largest lithium mines in the world, they torched over 26,000 cars. And cars melted, trees still standing. Same MO we've seen in previous profiles, we're seeing again, in Lahaina, in Paradise, and Malibu and other places. And here you see the directed energy. Boom! There it is right there, folks. Boom! There it is. Let's see that again so you understand what we're seeing, because the particulate matter allows the directed energies to be seen, and we see it happen over and over again. And again, the trees, the shrubberies are left fine, and the cars are absolutely decimated, hot torching them. And also the fallout we see from inside the homes, where some of the places inside are just turned to rubble, just like in Paradise, just like in Lahaina. But they were purposely destroying and targeting the cars here. And you can see this is another event horizon. And look at this behind him. It's hard to even tell what that rubble is behind him. What is that? Are those cars that have been decimated? Are those tanks? What is that that's turned into rubble right there? We don't know. And this isn't being reported in the news anywhere. This was I found on TikTok. The stove is still there, and you can see the flames. But look at the rubble. Where did all this rubble come from? Why is there a bunch of rubble on the ground as well? And again, this isn't being reported by any media. This takeover of the world is only being reported when they want us to see it. So, look at the cars, the same kind of profile. And then I have no idea what that is in the background, all that twisted metal. If anybody can share, I'd love to hear their thoughts on it. But again, we can see the directed energy weapon beams coming down. Let's see it one more time. Boom. There it is, folks, coming down and exploding. Directed energy weapons are being used against humanity all around the world, as my new book I just released, shameless plug coming, warning. And I just published on Amazon, and I'll have copies to mail out in a couple weeks. It's actually selling pretty well, but I'm chronicling. I wish, waited a few weeks, I would have been able to add this one now in Argentina. But I have the free PDF I'll put in the show notes, or if you need to order or want to order the book, to share with others, because the world is under attack, and they're using sophisticated directed energy weapons, and they're mocking us. Maui burst. Wonder if we're going to see a Buenos Aires burst now in Mountain Dew written in Spanish or something. Who knows? He's crazy mother. You know what I was going to say. And here you can see cars being stacked on top of each other, cars being flipped. Same thing I question. How do you flip a 3,000-pound car with a forest fire? But over here we're seeing the blue beam, right? Boom, there it is. Fire is being conducted using directed energy weapons. And it's just another quinky dinky that Argentina is poised to dominate the global lithium market. 64,000 hectares. The lithium triangle, they're calling it, the lithium reserves as well. So this was another targeted event. Their agenda, they're just going down their list, and they're taking over the world using whatever means they have, sophisticated directed energy weapons. And unfortunately, first responders, police, they're just silent. They're just silent. We don't hear anything from them. And you can see down here, 40 families were affected in 15 stores. But again, let's show you how they do it. And boom, there it is, folks. Boom, there it is, folks. And you see the blue light over here I showed you earlier. Here's the red light coming down. Directed energy. This is probably the source of using this to target as they go. Boom. Pray for these people. Pray for the people in Lahaina. Pray for the people in Paradise. Pray for all. This is only going to continue, folks. Genocide on a worldwide scale. Had to be due. Please share away.
Okay, so Jamie Lee is the only other person on the entire World Wide Web that's been covering plasma fire anything remotely close to what I have been. But he's still stuck on do, directed energy weapon. He says in this video, pray for the people of Lahaina, pray for the people of Paradise, and now pray for the people of Argentina. He's focused on these few different incidents when, if you take into account and allow into your equation the hundreds and thousands, the hundreds of videos that I have produced of random plasma fires out in the middle of fields and in places where there is no apparent target, if you allow that into your thinking, it is very difficult to explain. The hundreds of videos that I have posted represent thousands of roadside plasma fires where it just looks like a little brush fire that lit on fire a couple of trees, some fence posts, miscellaneous things that are not valuable targets. And thus it is hard to continue referring to it and considering it and thinking of it as directed energy weapons. You have to then take into consideration that there is some sort of geomagnetic induction phenomenon going on, or they're just target practicing here, there, and here, there, and everywhere. In these 5 years of videos that I've created of these roadside plasma fires that demonstrate the same exact energy as Paradise, California, as Lahaina, and now here in Argentina, same exact energy, but on a smaller scale in random places where there is no apparent target. Now, I've already acknowledged, yes, there is directed energy weapons. The one place that is provable is the 5 Secret Service vehicles returned to the Hertz rental car company by Joe Biden's Secret Service that all ignited under the hood hours after they were returned. There is no way to say that wasn't an intentional targeting, and unless you say it was some sort of conventional incendiary device placed under the hood, it must be the same directed energy that melts the engine blocks and the rims and the glass of all these other cars in these other plasma fires. So that incident alone proves these directed energy weapons exist. Along with him mentioning, he briefly mentioned that we have cars stacked on top of other cars here. He kind of breezed over it, but what he's referencing is that in the Paradise, California fires, there were cars flipped on their top. Cars completely flipped over. Forest fire don't do that. Somehow, it is like the electromagnetic waves going through the ground creates a positive on one end of the car and a negative on the other end of the car and flips it magnetically. Just like when you push two magnets together and they're repelling each other until one of the magnets flips over and then they suck together and attract towards one another. That is probably how these cars are flipped. Electromagnetically, like charging the car with a magnetic charge and flipping it the same way that a magnet will flip over when it has that repelling force of another magnet pressed up next to it. And I ain't trying to run Jamie Lee down at all. He used a piece of my very first plasma fire video in a video that he titled "Don't Underestimate the Power of the Dark Fiber," where he's referencing the underground fiber optic cable that doesn't have anything flowing through it yet. It's waiting to be hooked up on both ends, and it's dark fiber, they call it. And it serves as kind of like an antenna, possibly some sort of conductive material. Back in March of 2019, when I got my channel erased, he had just lost his first channel. So he went from A Plain Truth, A-P-L-A-N-E-T-R-U-T-H, as in a flat plane, because he's a flat earther. He went from A Plain Truth to A Plain Truth 2. And when they allowed me back my channel, I didn't need to change the title at all, or the name of the channel, but I added the number 2 in solidarity with Jamie Lee, who just had his channel taken down, but very different way than I did. I just had all of my content erased. They didn't tell me I violated a bunch of policies. Anyway, he is now on like A Plain Truth 16 or 17. They just keep knocking him down and he just keeps getting back up and continuing to swing. That is admirable. It's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up, and he just keeps getting back up. He's on aplanetruth15, 16 right now, and I'm pretty sure he's got 17, 18, 19, and 20 already set up. So this guy's a fighter. This guy's the real deal. I just wish he would incorporate the thousands and thousands of plasma fires that are all around the world. Every place that's on fire right now, from Canada to Greece, everywhere around the world is on fire right now. And in every one of those places, you can go spot the same patterns of electricity flowing through the trees and the cars and the houses as you can in these few incidents that he's been primarily focused upon, like Paradise, California, and now Lahaina, and now Argentina. But all of these hundreds of videos I've produced of roadside fires that show the same electrical burn patterns, along with the entire world that's on fire right now, is a little difficult. It expands your understanding and perceptual awareness beyond directed energy weapons. All those little spot fires that I've video recorded would have to be them target practicing, and that's possible. I'm open to the possibility. Maybe they're just dialing in their ability to control it. Like when you're using lightning bolts as a weapon, your ability to hit a smaller area and reduce the impact is actually an advancement and a development. Your ability to restrict and control and be less destructive with that lightning bolt is actually an ability to direct it more so. And that could be possibly what's happening with all these other little roadside spot fires, is that they're practicing on different materials. They're practicing on how to keep it within a certain range and burn this but not burn that, etc. But I don't think so. I think you gotta incorporate something else going on here, like geomagnetic induction and pole shift. And when there's a fluctuation in the magnetic field, there's a surge of ground current. That, yes, it can be directed in some cases, but to think that it's directed in all cases, all of these fires, the hundreds and thousands of roadside plasma fires are all being directed, no, that's a stretch of the imagination. So I really wish he would expand his discussion beyond directed energy weapons, because it's pretty clear here that that red light is a glare on the camera lens, and so is that blue light. That's a street light up and to the right of the fire. That is a frickin' street light. And the blue beam coming off it is a lens flare or a glare on the camera lens. But this guy's the real deal. He ain't trying to lead you down some primrose path and follow a red herring and fucking get you confused about some bullshit that ain't real. This guy's doing everything he can.